right, kindergarten, so now that we've talked about Claude Monet, now we are going to work on making some water gardens of our own. So what you're going to do is you are going to get a piece of paper that has a circle on it and your name. First, you are going to cut out that circle. Remember, your scissors are your car and your line is your road. So I'm going to make sure that my scissors are staying on that black line. I'm going to set that aside, make sure to put that in the recycle bin, and then you're going to flip it over so your name is on the back. You're going to have a paintbrush and you're going to have a tray of paints that has white, light blue, and dark blue. First, you're going to start with the white, which seems a little bit silly since our paper is white, but you'll see why we're doing it. We're going to start by putting a white circle in the middle of our paper. I know this is kind of hard to see, but I have a white circle of paint in the middle of my paper. Next, I don't have to try to clean off my brush. I'm just going to go ahead and scoop up some of that light blue, and I'm going to put light blue all the way around that white circle. Now, if you remember when we were looking at Claude Monet, we talked about his brush strokes, which was where we could see where his paintbrush had painted. So don't worry if you kind of make brush strokes. So you can see I have a couple brush strokes right here where my light blue has kind of gone into my white. Then once I've painted most of my paper with the light blue, now I'm going to get the dark blue to go on the outside. Make sure that you paint your whole paper. And then you can again kind of go into your light blue a little bit to make some of those brush strokes. So it kind of looks like a pond. We have our white that's there to be kind of our reflection in our water. And then we have our light blue and our dark blue for the rest of our water. Once you've finished painting that, you're going to go ahead and set that on the drying rack. Then you're going to get your green paper and flip it over so your name is on the back. Then there's a paint tray that has yellow and green, and you will have a sponge. You are going to use this sponge to kind of dip into both colors, and we are adding texture to our paper. Texture is how something feels. So it's kind of making this cool texture on my paper. So I'm going to try to fill up all my spaces. And there we go. That looks great for adding awesome texture to my paper. Once you're finished with that, you can put that on the drying rack. And last thing we are going to do today is you are going to be given either a pink paper or an orange paper. Your name will be on the back. And you are going to have a pink oil pastel and an orange oil pastel. You are going to use your pink and orange oil pastel to draw spirals on your paper. We've learned how to draw spirals is when you start big and go smaller and smaller and smaller as you go in. I'm just going to put spirals all over my paper. Once I've done a bunch of orange spirals, then I can switch and make pink spirals. Now, it's okay if your spirals overlap each other, and we've learned that overlap means that they can go on top of each other. And that is all I need for my spiral paper. That's all we're doing for our first step of this project today. Next time we'll start putting together our water gardens.